Welcome back to another episode of Purpose. I'm your host, Corey Clark. Thanks so much for tuning in. You guys, this summer is just flying by, and I just don't know where the time is going. But I'm really excited because like I said in the last episode, we've got exciting things coming. My book is relaunching, and we've just had a lot going on with our family, all good stuff. Birthdays and graduation and just enjoying life. And but I've been so excited to be back in the swing of things. It's just, I think for so many of us, and you can probably feel this to some extent, obviously the last couple of years have just been whack, and it's just really taken a toll on me, and I haven't really gotten into my groove as far as like with my business and creating content. It's just been kind of like feeling like I'm in a rut. And I'll kind of come out of it and then I'll get back into it. But I'm really excited because, I know that it was meant to be. Like, I know the time I've taken away has been fruitful still in doing what God had me doing at the time. And it's been nice to just enjoy my family and to be a wife and a mom and take care of our home and, all of those good things that God has given me. And I'm really excited because I do know that this is the path God has me on. And I just want to help as many people as possible to really, truly like live purposefully and intentionally. And, what I came to realize was my original book is like, that's a tool that a lot of people need. And I had just kind of let it go because it was like, well, I don't need this anymore. And even though I don't necessarily need it anymore, and I've learned all those things and I practice all those things, it's still something that I need to be responsible with and share with others. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today in this episode. So I'll get into the book like at the end of the episode and all the details on where you can get yours and bonuses and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you tune in to the end of the episode to get all those juicy details. But several weeks ago, my sister-in-law had actually shared a devotional she was reading, and it really inspired me to kind of think some things through, right? So, this was actually probably a couple months ago, and I was really trying to figure out like, okay, God, like, what am I doing here? Do I need to be helping people simplify their lives? Do I need to be helping people run their businesses? Like, what is this going to look like from this point forward? And I really kept feeling like before my sister-in-law had even sent this to me, I had kept feeling like I really need to like be intentional and be responsible with the gifts God has already given me. And if I had been like neglecting those things and then asking God for something new and different, I just felt like it wasn't something that he was going to honor unless I had been like responsible and obedient with what he had already given me. So, and I talk about this a lot, like even just to my clients and members in inside my membership, is really truly like being obedient to what God has put in our hands, right? And the first thing for me is, obviously my relationship with God, and then it's my husband, it's Ryan. Like that is like my number one priority. And then it's my kids and it's my home. If those things are suffering, then I really should not be worrying about anything else. My business, my blog, the book, the planner, or whatever. And so we really have to be faithful with the first things God has given us. And so anyways, I had already been thinking about that and, really like struggling and having these conversations with God. Like, have I even actually been responsible with what you've already given me? And then my sister-in-law sent me like a picture of her devotional for that morning. And it was literally talking about that kind of stuff, about mastering the gifts that God has given you, mastering what is in your hands already. And I think when we can learn to be responsible with what we've already been given and to become a master at it and to, to be intentional with it, to sow into it, that is when God will continue to give us more or take us into that next level or to give us more authority. And so I wanted to share some of these with you because after I read that, I was like, okay, God, like, help me to see what you've given me. Help me to feel like rejuvenated and excited about these things, and help me to pour myself into what you've already given me, because I knew like that would open up the next door, or it would show me the next step. And maybe it would just continue to be the same thing over and over and over, because that's how God's using me right now. So I wanted to share with you guys, I have my journal here so I can share exactly what, after I had that time reading her devotional and then really just praying and asking God to help me, I came up with basically 8 questions that I asked myself, and I went through and wrote these all out in my journal. And so if you have a pen and paper, grab it. If not, listen and then come back and write these things down, because I really think they will help you if you are feeling like you're in a rut or you want the next best thing, right? I mean, as entrepreneurs, we can be so like, oh, shiny object syndrome, right? You see someone doing something and you're like, oh, I want to try that. I want to try that. But have you really mastered what you've already been given? And I think it's unwise to step into something else that when you haven't even mastered like the little thing God has given you, right? So the first thing I asked myself is okay, God, what have you put in my hands? And I sat there and I just made a list of all the things God has put in my hands already, right? My blog, my podcast, my book, the planner, my social media following, my Instagram account, my Pinterest account. Those are things that I already have in front of me. I don't need anything else. Those are the things I have. So write down, what are the things that you already have in your hands? And then the second question is, what do I need to do to master it? Right? So for me, it was, I need to start writing every day again. I need to start posting consistently on social media again. I need to share the products that I have created to help people. If I'm keeping those to myself and not sharing them with other people, I'm not doing them a service. And I'm not, that's another thing. It's funny because I'll have people follow me for a long time and then they'll message me and like, oh, what planner is that? And it's crazy because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my planner. How do you not know? But they don't know because I wasn't doing my job in serving them and sharing that with them, right? I need to be more consistent at reading books and studying and really expanding my knowledge of, whether it's in the subject of simplicity and purposeful living, or just reading my Bible, reading books on, marketing, whatever it is. Like, I haven't been as disciplined at those things over the last couple of years as I used to be. So that's what those are some of the things I wrote down for the second question. What do I need to do to master it? The third question is, what is bothering me right now? Like, what are the things that have me feeling frustrated or discouraged or unmotivated? During that time when I was going through this, I was frustrated because we were needing to move and I didn't want to move. So I just kind of wrote those things down so that I could acknowledge them and know that, I've shared this on other episodes and a lot of people already know this. It's Brick Castillo's model, and it's our thoughts create our feelings create our actions, and our actions create our results. Did I do that right? So, anyways, I know that those feelings I had, right? Those feelings of frustration were creating my actions or lack of action. And so I just needed to acknowledge those. So, number 3, what is bothering me right now? And then number 4 is, what gifts have you given me? And so I just asked God, and I prayed and, asked him to remind me of the gifts he's given me. And those are obviously going to be different for every person. I'm like wired for entrepreneurship. I have been since I was a little kid. And I have to learn to embrace that and not try to like shut it down. I love writing and I love helping people. So I just started listing all the things that God has gifted me with. And then number 5, I asked, what do I need more confidence in? So what are the things that still kind of make me nervous, or what are the things that I feel like I'm not good at yet? And so I made a list of those things. And, one of the things was, I just feel like after taking a couple years off, it was like, am I even worthy of like doing this if I have not been as disciplined over the last couple years? Number 6 is, what am I committing to? Because here's the deal. At the end of the day, you have to commit to something. You basically already are committed to something. You're either committed to like your success and following through on these things that God has asked you to do, or you're committed to just like your basic life that you're living right now that you're kind of like not 100% happy with. Because if you continue to not show up and not put in the work and not grow, that's what you're committed to. If you are committed to actually like taking your life to the next level, to mastering this gift that God has given you, then you have to step up to that, right? You have to commit to showing up. You have to commit to learning more, reading more, to showing up for your audience, creating content, whatever that looks like for you in your life. What are you committed to? Now, this stuff, like these questions, can seriously be asked by anybody. You don't have to have a business to ask yourself these questions. You can ask yourself these questions based on just like your life that you're living, your spiritual life, in your marriage, and with your kids. What are you committing to? Are you committing to, simplifying your house, keeping your house clean, planning meals for your family, saving some money, not spending so much, whatever it is? What are you committing to? And make a list of those commitments, and put them in your planner if you need to. Start to create those daily habits, create a routine that adds some of these commitments into your daily routine so that you can actually start seeing the fruit from what happens when you are committed to these things. Number 7, I asked, what has the enemy done to try to stop me? And that was just another thing where I just acknowledged what has happened. Because if you try to ignore things and pretend they never happened, you can't move past them. You can't try to correct them. So some of the things that I wrote down, is there was a lot of discouraging moments over the last couple years. I mean, for those of you that have followed me for any length of time, I don't hold back. I speak my mind. I lost a lot of friends, sadly, some close friends through the pandemic, just because, they didn't agree with me. So they decided they didn't want to be my friend anymore. And that was hurtful because, I'm very open to being friends with people who have differing opinions. And so it was just very shocking to me that people could do that. I lost a lot of followers on social media, which, at the end of the day, I don't care. The follower number does not matter to me. It was just what was discouraging about it is wow, I can't believe there's people that actually choose to do this based on my opinions. So I just wrote those things down. Like, those are things that, hurdles that got in my way, and they just felt like attacks. And so, and I just wanted to acknowledge them and say, like, all right, I am bigger than this, I am stronger than this, and I'm moving on. And then the eighth question, this is the last one, was how can I reshape what the enemy tried to steal from me into something good? And so for me, that has looked like really just embracing like the people I do have, the people that do love me no matter what. The audience that I have that still supports me and loves me no matter what, whether they agree with me or not, And so really turning that into like, I don't care who has left. Like, that's sad, especially people that I actually know and love. I can still pray for them and pray that someday, like, things turn around. But in the moment, like, there's nothing I can do about that. And so what I can do is be grateful for who I do have in my life, serve the people I do have in my life, serve the audience I do have, show up for them, and know what I have to offer them. And to really, truly, like, at the end of the day, I want to help women step into their purpose, like, even more now, right? That fueled my fire even more because, I feel like at the end of the day, Satan's like not really worried about people who aren't doing much, right? But if you are truly like stepping into your purpose, doing what God's asked you to do, then that's a threat, right? And the enemy likes to cause confusion and to make you doubt what God has asked you to do. And so, anyways, those 8 questions like truly transformed how I felt about what I was doing with my life and with my business. And that was literally like the turning point. Was I worked through those things. I really took the time to pray and ask God to help me work through that. And that was when it was like this confirmation of, yeah, I've got to get my book back out there. I've got to, get back into my groove and really be faithful with those first things God gave me and master those things, right? And that's where I was like pre-pandemic, which is sad. It's like been 2.5 years. And anyways, I'm just really excited to have the book back out. It'll be out in a few weeks. And, I really just want to help women like get rid of the chaos, whether that's chaos, in your home because it's a mess or just in your life in general. I think that the enemy tries to keep us busy with things that we feel like this is a good thing, I'm busy. But, it keeps us, we're distracted and we're not on mission, and we're not building the kingdom if we're busy and distracted with silly things that literally have no eternal value. So I pray that these things help you and that you can kind of work through these things too. If you are feeling unmotivated or if you're feeling like you want to step into something new, like really ask yourself, have I mastered what God's already given me? Am I being faithful with those first gifts He's already given me? Because when you can master that, and you can be faithful and obedient with that, that is when He's going to start to open up the next doors or open up that new level for you. So I really want to encourage you, whatever it is that you do, whatever it is you feel like you've been called to, master that. Be the best at it. Be the authority in your industry. Be the one that people look to when they need help in that area that you are an expert at. Just master it, be faithful with it, be obedient, and God will continue to bless you and to open up new doors for you. All right, so with all that being said, the book, you can pre-order The Simplicity Project. So this is updated and revised. It's the book that I wrote in 2014. It's the book that completely changed my life and led me into, it's literally like everything we just talked about. I was faithful with those things, right? I simplified my life. I simplified my health, my home, my finances, my time. And when I did that, that was when God started to open up the next door and the next and the next. And, we published the book, created the Purposeful Planner, started coaching other business women. It's been like one thing after another. And it's all been because I became purposeful and intentional with what God had already given me and with the decisions I was making. So there are some updates and revisions in that. I still kept like the meat of the book the same because that truly is like what changed my life. And I believe it's what can change your life too. So you can go to simplicityprojectbook.com to pre-order your copy. The book launches officially on August 8th or August 9th. Sorry, August 9th. But if you pre-order now, you also get the audiobook and the ebook, which you'll get a PDF version and you'll get like an EPUB version that you can put on your phone or tablet or whatever. Plus, you'll get a couple other bonuses. We have a free group for the people who have the book that we can go through a 28-day simplicity challenge together. That's also a bonus in the book is the Simplicity Challenge, which it's 28 days of super simple, easy things you can do to start to create some margin in your life so that you can create that space that you need to actually step into what God's asking you to do, right? So helps give you a little more time or a little more energy. None of this is major, right? I don't think anybody needs to give their life a complete overhaul. I think that doesn't ever last. I think small changes are what are what's going to help you like create those long-term lasting results, right? So anyways, I'm really excited. Grab your book, get it pre-ordered because when it officially launches, then all of us who are reading the book, we are going to go through the 28-day challenge together. Now, obviously, if you pre-order the book right now and you get the ebook, you can like dive in now. You can listen now. You can start going through that challenge now. It's all yours like immediately when you grab it. And we're actually giving you the book for free. All we're asking is that you pay shipping and handling because I truly want to get this book in as many hands as possible. It's not an intense read. It's a very quick read. It's like practical, helpful tools that will help you simplify your life. And I always joke, like you don't have to talk to your clothes. Like there's another popular system out there that people raved about for a while. I don't ask you to talk to your clothes or your belongings. I don't ask you to get super organized and fold your clothes into tiny squares. That's not what this is about. It's about simplifying so that you can have a life of peace and purpose. So get your book pre-ordered, hop into our free group that comes with the book. And yeah, that's it. I'm so excited, you guys. And I have more fun episodes coming up and amazing people that I'm going to be interviewing that I cannot wait to introduce you to. I'm excited to see where God is going to take not just like me, but all of the people that I'm serving through this, through my podcast, through my blog, through the book, because I just want to see women wake up, right? I feel like everybody's kind of sleepwalking through life and just keeping up with the Joneses and doing their thing. And it's not necessarily anything bad, but I think people need to wake up to the calling that God's put on their life, wake up to what's happening in this world and, take their lives back. So All right, you guys, that's it for today. Have an amazing day. And if you have any takeaways from this episode, please share it with your friends and make sure that you are subscribed to the show on whatever platform it is that you listen to us, and subscribe, rate, and leave a review, because that really helps boost the podcast so that other people can find it as well. All right, you guys, and be sure to go to simplicityprojectbook.com. I will put the link in the show notes as well so that you can grab your copy of the book before it starts shipping on August 9th. All right, you guys, thanks for listening. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode.